gosh, is this thing working? So, it's been a while. It's been a while. It's been a while since I've recorded a video. So, of course, welcome back to my channel. Disregard that, I'm, I'm all like kind of messed up right now. But that I've noticed that I have note cards in my inventory asking me questions about excuse me, creator life things, and I've been so busy doing lots of other things over the holiday. I was not able to really give proper responses, and I'm sorry about that if you've written me note cards and it seems to be that I ignore them. I'm really good at ignoring instant messages and note cards. So I hope you guys all had a fantastic holiday, and Happy New Year, of course. It is January 2nd when I'm recording this. I don't know when I'll get it up, but I just wanted to make a quick video just to answer some of the questions that I've gotten here recently, and yeah, hopefully this will help you guys, at least give you a visual aiding alongside a note card written back trying to explain how to do these things. So the first one I want to talk about is how to align objects. I'm just going to use prims in this case. So say, well, no, let's not even use prims. Let's just do actual full perm pieces. We'll do this one, sure. Doesn't really matter. So I had a question from someone that wanted to know, this is not a good one. We need something with sleeves. One second. We need something with sleeves. Let's do the Jill hoodie. This is not the right one either because I deleted all the pieces. Alright, here we go. Let's just do the ones that I usually offer, which are Beliza, Slink, and Maitreya. That's it. That's all I usually do. Now, if you're using Underground, they're really nice people, and they've grouped all of these together for easy resin, quote unquote. I don't use all of the sizes, so really it's kind of a pain in the ass for me. But if you're actually going to use all of the sizes, then just drag and drop this, and it's all, aligned, and you don't need to do what I'm going to show you how to do. It's all nice and pretty for you already. Side note, I just woke up, so if I sound like a man, I'm sorry. So what I'm going to do is I need all of these to be lined up perfectly, and it is quite the pain in the ass to have to do this manually. So what I would do in this situation is I would just edit, get one grabbed here, press shift, and select the rest of them. So I have them all selected right now. Up here in the menu, you can see that there's a selection called Align. If you click that, you'll notice that you've got arrows on XYZ axis popping up on your mesh. If you click one of them, it moves everything perfectly aligned with their first one in that spot. So as you can see, I just clicked the blue. They're slightly moving. Okay, so pretty much they're all the same height on the blue axis. So let's press a red one. As you can see, it moved them all like to the front. So now they're all aligned perfectly on the red axis. So if I come over here and I click the green, then now they're all perfectly aligned on the green axis. So now you can just click off the edit menu, click again on one of them, and then drag them out like so. And this is what I do every single time I'm about to set the root prim on my mesh. So this just makes it to where it's perfectly in line, and I can come in here and start setting up the root prim. Now some people, I get this kind of often too. they have problems setting up their root prim inside their mesh, I mean, it doesn't have to necessarily be inside of it. It's going to be transparent. You can't see it. And you always have to make it transparent because most mesh automatically attaches to your right hand. So if you leave this colored or you leave it your logo and you don't make it transparent, guess where that you can see it in your hand when you attach the mesh to your body, and you don't want that. Customers will complain. They don't want to hold your box in their hand. So you always have to make sure that this little root prim always goes transparent. Even if you want to set it to your texture, your logo, and make it transparent, when they click on it, they'll still see your logo in this box. So if you're, just wanting to like brand it with your image, you can still do that. I don't fool with it just because I'm lazy, so there's really no other reason. But all I'm doing here is I'm just holding shift with my root prim selected, and if I keep shift held down, it's only moving on the green axis. It's not left and right. If I'm still holding shift right now and I'm clicking on the red, it's going to only, even if I do crazy stuff like that, it's only going to move on the red. Same for the blue, but I'm having shift held down the entire time, and actually I'll let go for a second there. So that's what I do. And now, as you can see, all of my root prims are in a row here as well. This is all like super, it's kind of like anal, like, if my mesh isn't set up like this, I feel like I'm doing it wrong. So, but there are different ways of doing this. I just find that this is easier and helps me get through my workflow faster, is just to set everything up nice and neat like so. So I hope that little example helped you. I can also do it with prims if you need me to make it more, let's just put them randomly everywhere because this works with everything. I'm going to go through and I'm going to select one prim and hold down shift and select all of them. Like so. And I want them all to come to this point right here. If I wanted them all to come to this point over here, then I need to hold down shift, select that box, and make sure that the entire piece moves to that prim. In this case, let's put it all the way over here because it's the furthest one. So all I did was hold shift, deselect, shift again, shift, deselect, and then I just click the box again, and the entire root point, I guess, is over here, is how you would say that. So you just come to your edit menu and you click align. Oh my god. I'm so lazy. And I'm going to come over here and click the green. As you can see, it moved everything all the way over to the right here. And I'm just going to move this, I'm going to click this red one to where everything lines up right there. And all of those boxes are perfectly aligned in that area, as you can see. It's magic. It's not magic. It's not magic. You just have to play around with these tools. Let's see which other ones that I use. Someone asked me how to select faces. I mean, that if you're selecting faces, you don't know how to select faces, that means you're pretty new to the mesh world. So basically, in order to texture this piece of mesh had multiple faces, you would just select the mesh and then you would do select face, and then you can click on different parts of the mesh to see how many faces it has. Sometimes I mean, in this instance, it's easily clickable. But sometimes you'll get a piece of mesh where, oh, actually these, I don't think these were easily clickable. The eyelet itself. Yeah, see? I'm sitting here and I'm clicking, I'm clicking, I'm clicking. It's going back between 1 and 0. So 0 is the face for the string, and I believe 1 might be the face for the eyelet. Let's see, yeah. But sometimes it's extremely hard to click on the eyelet because they have made it too close to the adjoining mesh and it's kind of sunken in. So say for instance we don't know the face of the eyelet. If you notice me clicking around on this, you've got face 5 is this main texture here, face 4 is this sleeve, which is kind of a weird way of dicing up your faces, but whatever. The pouch up here is 3, so the highest number we have is 5. We can tell that this is 0, this is 2. So we've accounted for 4 faces, but we're like, God, what is this face number right here? Well, it's 0 through however many faces, and we've gotten up to 5. We can see 4 faces. So obviously the missing face is 0. Or if this was diced up differently, if this face right here was, let's just make this blank so I can try to explain this a little better, because this is kind of, it's just diced up weird. It was a pita to texture because this sleeve is not the same face or texture as the front. Underground's kind of notorious for doing like the back of the garment on one texture and the front on the other. So it's sometimes it's kind of hard to do like stripes and seem seamless because of how they cut their mesh. And they don't sew it back together. It's just separate pieces, and so it can be a little bit tricky to texture. I'm just going to click on the front. So say that this is face 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But we're like, damn, this eyelet, we can't click it, hypothetically. But we've got, we've found 1 through 5. Well, then obviously okay, hang on, I'm getting confused. I'm getting confused. Well, in this case, obviously the missing face would be 0. But say these were numbered something else and the missing face was 3. It skipped face 3. You're like, where's face 3? Face 3 would be the damn eyelet that you can't click because it's sunken in the mesh. I hope that makes sense. It's kind of hard to explain. It's definitely hard to explain in a note card, but that's how you would find your missing face. And all I did in order to get these colors is I just set the entire mesh piece to blank, which you have that right there in your palette. So it made everything white. So I pressed OK and did select face and just came in here and assigned it a color just randomly. There was no thought or anything going into that. And if you're able to change colors like this, these are faces that I'm changing the color of. So this particular piece of mesh, if I can click this shit, there we go. Let's just do pink. This particular piece of mesh has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 faces. Nope, 6, because you've got the string ends right there. So as you can see, this is going to be, if you're doing any kind of stripes, this is going to be a bitch to try to line up because it's cut weird. I don't know why they did that. I don't know why this person that makes this mesh does this. I guess it's easier for them. I just wish they would sew it all back together so we can make, you know, cute stripes and different things that can go down the side on this. It's going to be really hard to line all this stuff up. So, let me think about what other questions I've had. Okay, here we go. Here's a perfect example. So, obviously this is the shadow plane to the American Bazaar logo. Let me res this in world. Okay, so this one's already textured, but let's do this here. So she wanted to know how I went from having a solid ambient occlusion as the shadow to making it a transparent shadow. Now, I don't know if this is like the official way to do it. I learned this from a friend of mine, and I was like, oh, this must be the way they do it. If this isn't the way that most people make shadow prims, I don't know what to tell you. This is how I do it, and it's super quick for me. So basically, I'm just going to take the marquee tool and I'm going to stretch it out to the length of this white box right here. And I'm going to press Ctrl J to duplicate that layer. So as you can see, when I duplicated the layer, it's transparent on the right side here. That's what I want. I'm going to hide this background layer so I can see the transparency. I'm going to make a new layer. I'm going to come up here to edit, define brush set, and what that's going to do is it creates a brush out of this image right here. In order for the brush to be transparent in the background here has to be white, and then your subject has to be black. No matter what it has to be like a silhouette type of appearance in order for the brush to work correctly. If this was inverted, your brush is going to have a background and it's not going to work properly. So your background always has to be white and your subject has to be black. So now that I've done that, I'm going to come over to my brush set, and I'm going to press the down arrow and wait. Oh, not that long. And as you can see, it put the brush at the very end of my list, and it's the correct size. I don't have to resize it or anything. You can see the outline of the brush right here, and I'm just going to make sure that I have black selected, and I'm just going to click about, try to get it as close as possible. So as you can see, I'll make a white layer behind it so you can see a little bit better. As you can see, it is a brush and now it is transparent and I can move it wherever I want. But in this case, you want to move it directly over and align it. I have the snap guides on. If you go to view, show, smart guides has a check next to it, so it's always going to kind of snap where it's supposed to go, and that is overlaying it perfect. So from here, I'm just going to hide this layer. You can just upload it just like this. Sometimes it's a little harsh. We're just going to do a test. I'm going to select the face and I'm going to click on texture, and we're just going to upload it locally. This is something else that people always want me to teach them. This is how you upload a texture locally and not have to pay. This is just if you're temporarily trying to check textures and it's cheaper, you don't have to pay 10 lindens every single time. However, you are the only person that can see this local texture. Nobody else around you can. It is gray for everybody else. So what you would do, again, is click texture. When this box opens, click local and then click add, and then find your texture, and it shows up here. And when you click it, it applies to the object in world. Okay, So as you can see, this is not really perfect. You can see a really harsh, well, it's not harsh. You can see a faint line right here at the bottom. You don't want that. And you can kind of see it at the top. You don't want that. You want it to be completely faded all around each side. So what you could do is take your eraser tool and just kind of, whoa, that's the wrong shape. You could turn your white layer back on and then go through and just very, very lightly do the edges of this, but that's not completely accurate. So what I do in this case is I just press Control, and then I make sure that the top layer is selected, and with Control held down, I click the thumbnail. You can see it puts the little dancing ants just around the edges of the brush, and that's fine that it's like that. I come down here to this little button, and I think it's the mask. Yeah, add layer mask. I just know what the buttons do. I don't know what they're called. And I just give that a click, and as you can see, it made it just a little bit lighter. I'm going to go ahead and right click and apply the layer mask, and then I'm going to save it in the same section. So I overrided it, and with the local texture, it automatically updates it in world. And as you can see now, the shadow is better. You don't see the harsh lines on the left and the right, and it actually looks really good having it be the shadow behind everything. And that's how I do every single mesh shadow for every logo that I do. Or, I mean, it doesn't matter if I'm making a frame, if I'm making a desk, if I'm making anything that has a shadow on it. That's how I create the shadow behind the mesh, under the mesh, over the mesh, whatever. That's how I do it. So, I'm trying to think. I swear I've had so many questions. Let me look in my trash bin. This person is probably still asking me questions, so no, that's her lining up about the eyelets, and then we did lining up the mesh. Crap, Zilla. I could have sworn there are other questions. I'm trying to think. I guess if I come up with any more, I can come back and record even more. Anyways, I just wanted to give you guys, a little quick video, let you know that I wish you all Happy New Year and your holidays were great. And I hope this helps you guys. If you have suggestions, or you are curious about a certain type of thing and you want me to make a video about it, you can always send me a note card in World or an IM. I'm really not that terribly busy these days, so my IMs don't cap. Haha. So just let me know if there's something that you want me to cover. Yeah. I don't think I have anything else for you guys that I was trying to read through, but there's nothing there. So if you like this video, definitely give it a thumbs up if it helped you. Share it with your friends, all that kind of stuff. If you have questions, you just send them to me. Make sure you follow me on Facebook, Instagram. Of course, if you're not subscribed to this channel, please do. And also click the bell button so you can get a notification of when I go live or upload new videos to the channel. And yeah, I think that's it. I will leave all of my social media links in the description box below. Also, information about what I covered in this video. Again, if you guys need me, just holler and I will be around. Thank you so much for watching. I'm going to go figure out what skin I'm wearing so I can texture my hands and my feet. Bye. See you on the next one.